Hi there, it's Richard Knowles from Element Finance. I hope you're all well. And if you're watching this video, we are into our 6 pillars of property development. Now, hopefully, this is pillar number 6 we're going to talk about, which is the exit. So if you haven't seen the other videos or read the other blogs, I'd encourage you to go and start at number 1. That would be really useful because we're on pillar number 6. So hopefully at this stage, you have been through 1 to 5. So I'll just recap on what they are. So 6 pillars. Number 1, opportunity. What makes a good opportunity? Number 2 is around appraising that particular opportunity. So, is it really fit for purpose? Is it a good opportunity? Pillar number 3, excuse me, is around purchasing and planning, the 2 Ps. Pillar number 4, our favourite subject, finance. So that's pillar number 4. Pillar number 5, construction, build phase. And pillar number 6, which is this one here, is the exit. So without any further ado, we will get into talking about the exit. So exit strategy. There are quite a few with most developers, and it is most developers, build to sell, which is probably the most popular strategy. However, there are a lot of build to rent, build to hold, whatever you want to phrase it as. So whatever it is you're building, you're going to retain. Those strategies have become incredibly popular as well because you can add a lot of value during the development phase and retain the properties at the end. So regardless of which one you're doing, there are some sort of commonalities amongst them both. So I'll dive into the build to rent first. Just very, very quickly, a few things to consider. So if you are building to rent or building to retain, one of the things that you need to do from a finance perspective, really, and this probably goes back to pillar 4. We were talking about finance. We were, we couldn't cover every facet of it because otherwise the videos would be, they'd be 3 hours long and nobody would want to watch them. Me waffle on about it. So when we talk about finance, if you're building to rent, what's really, really prudent is when you're raising your development finance to develop out, and this is things that we've done on numerous occasions, is we get an agreement in principle from a term lender who's prepared, at what level they're prepared to engage on the gross development value at the end, subject to obviously valuing the gross development value, so what kind of loan you can cover at the end. This has 2 advantages really. It makes your development finance, excuse me, or raising the development finance a little bit easier because there's a defined exit, and the development finance always knows what the defined exit is because there's a loose agreement in place or an agreement in principle in place. It just gives you that known exit point. So, and also one thing I would say is consider getting some CGIs done so you can start to market your properties before you way before you get to the end of the construction phase. It just, again, old adage, time is money. The more you can compress that time frame, the more money you will either make or save. And don't skimp. If you're keeping them to retain them, make sure you use a good agent. If you're going to use an agent, so you can engage with them very, very early. Give them some of the tools and some of the marketing collateral. Whether you're going to produce a nice brochure, sort of CGIs, a nice website. It depends how big the development is and how big your budget is, of course. But all these things you need to sort of start thinking about at a very early stage, not when you get right to the very end. So that's build to rent. Build to sell, very, very similar. One thing I would say is engage early. So CGIs are great. Computer generated images. Their technologies come on leaps and bounds. I mean, some of the CGIs you see now, you struggle to tell them apart from actual photos. They're that good. So lots of developers are now starting to use, or have been using for quite a number of years, CGI images. So you can start to market your product long before you get to the end of it, which again just sort of compresses that time period for your marketing and sales effort at the end. So selling off plan, again, that's part of having the computer generated images. You can sell off plan, create a brochure, create a website. Again, you want it to reflect the quality of the development. So put together a very nice brochure, put together a nice website. It's technology's become quite a bit cheaper now, but actually there's no substitute still for I know plenty of people that still produce a very nice glossy hard sort of back brochure, and it works incredibly well. Make sure you work with the right agent. So if you're building I don't know, entry point apartments, for instance, there's no point appointing an agent that's used to selling £2 million country homes. You know, and the same is true in reverse, obviously. You know, you want to make sure that you pick an agent that's used to representing the kind of properties that you've got. The kind of clients they have on the book will be the kind of clients you're looking for. So, you know, don't be sort of short-sighted or get you know, look into thinking, well, maybe I'll use this agent because they're, you know, because they might be a little bit cheaper or whatever. It's a false economy, really. Pick the right agent for the right job. And if you've got a selection of agents, great, in your area. Obviously differs area to area as to whether there's big chains, independents, and there's lots of choice. So, you know, engage with them early, discuss what their marketing tactics will be. You know, it's a bit of a joint effort at this stage. You just want to make sure that the units are sold. You can sell some of them off plan. You know, give the agent as much ammunition as you can to go and get the right price for your hard work, essentially. You know, because at the end of the day, you want to sell them as quickly as you can at the right prices, so you can retain a good margin for all your efforts. You know, by this stage you're at the end of what's probably been quite a hard road, and quite a long road, and you know you need to make sure you get your just rewards for it. So I hope that's been useful for you. We're going to do one more video which will just kind of cap it all off, and one more blog, which will just to round up what we've discussed. But I'm Richard Knowles, company's Element Finance. Thank you very much for your time.